Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Amid the racism controversy that's rocked Bachelor Nation, Matt James' season is beginning to wrap up. And as viewers head into the last few weeks of the show, Reality Steve is spilling the tea. Many feel this season has been way too much drama and not enough love. So did Matt manage to find love throughout the chaos many women caused? Warning! Spoilers ahead. Reality Steve shares Matt James' final 2-episode spoilers. Reality Steve went to his blog Thursday to share major spoilers for Matt James' final 2 episodes of season 25. Monday night fans will see Matt go on his fantasy suite dates. The 3 remaining women are Bree Springs, Michelle Young, and Rachel Kirkconnell. No specific details have emerged regarding what happens on the overnights. However, Steve shared Bree Springs is the woman Matt sends home with a broken heart. Michelle and Rachel are the final 2. It is at this point production brought in Matt's estranged father to meet with him. It's unknown if Matt was aware his dad was coming. However, Steve believes most likely he was not. Steve has previously said he believes it was after this talk Chris asked Matt if he was okay. He of course replied he was not. Following the overnights, the final 2 women usually receive one last date with the lead before the rose ceremony. Steve also reports that both Rachel and Michelle met Matt's mom, Patty. During his final date with Michelle, she gives Matt 2 jerseys, one for him and one for her. However, things go south that evening for these 2. Steve shared that during their night portion of the date, Matt sends Michelle home. He reportedly tells her he loves her but is not in love with her. She asks if it's because of Rachel and he confirms. The final rose gets a little messy for Matt James. The day after Matt sent Michelle home, he was supposed to have his final date with Rachel. However, Steve reports Matt became emotional after meeting with his dad and sending Michelle home. So he decides to cancel his final date with Rachel. Chris goes and informs a devastated and confused Rachel. Steve believes the show wants fans to believe he picks nobody at the end. The next day, Matt slips a letter under Rachel's door. It basically says to meet him by the lake where they shared their overnight date. She goes to the lake to find a final rose ceremony-type setting waiting for her. Rachel tells Matt he hurt her, but she won't leave him because love is about sticking around. Matt goes on to tell Rachel he isn't ready to propose. However, he does tell her he's in love with her and can't imagine life without her. She then reportedly accepts the final rose, and they leave together as a couple. It's important to note Matt did not give her a ring at all. No promise ring, no nothing, just the agreement to keep dating. Things blow up. Steve also previously confirmed that Matt and Rachel are no longer a couple. The racism scandal broke surrounding her, and he ultimately ended their relationship. The last time they were reportedly together was Valentine's Day weekend. Steve is unsure exactly what he said to her as to why he ended things. However, it was right after this weekend that he broke it off. The After the Final Rose is scheduled to film Friday, March 4. Matt and Rachel will no doubt speak and share what went wrong. Steve says there is 0 chance they will reconcile. And he also says he's heard nothing about him wanting to get together with Michelle or Bree. So it looks like Matt is a single man. The final episode will air March 15 on ABC. Stay tuned for more updates. Reality Steve reveals shocking final 2 episodes for Matt James. Hold onto your roses, Bachelor Nation, because if you thought you knew how Matt James' season was going to end, think again. The ever-reliable spoiler king Reality Steve just dropped a bombshell about the final 2 episodes of The Bachelor Season 25 that have fans reeling, jaws on the floor, and trust in shambles. What he's revealing now, nearly 4 years after the season aired, might just be the biggest twist since Ari's fence jump or Peter's 2-date engagement. We've broken down Reality Steve's showcase revelations about what really went down in those last 2 episodes. What made it to air, what didn't, and how Matt James' ending was 100% not what we were told. Chapter 1. A refresher. Who were Matt's final three? Let's take a walk down memory lane. Matt James' historic season as the first Black Bachelor aired in early 2021. The final three contestants were Michelle Young, the poised and kind-hearted teacher from Minnesota; Bree Springs, the intelligent communications manager who left her job to pursue love; Rachel Kirkconnell, the controversial frontrunner whose off-screen history sparked massive backlash. By the time the season wrapped, we were led to believe Matt picked Rachel, but didn't propose. Then, following real-world drama surrounding Rachel's past and the show's handling of it, Matt broke up with her on after the final rose. But that's not the whole truth. Chapter 2. Reality Steve says ABC covered up two major endings. According to Reality Steve, there were two alternative endings filmed, one of which never aired, and the other, edited so heavily, it's barely recognizable. Matt's journey didn't end the way it looked, Steve claimed in a recent blog post. Production scrambled to rewrite the narrative after off-screen events forced their hand. In reality, Matt allegedly did propose to someone who wasn't Rachel, and that proposal was scrapped entirely. Chapter 3. The real final two. Michelle versus Bree. In the aired version, Michelle was eliminated after Fantasy Suites, with Bree going next. But according to Steve, Bree was actually in the final two, not Michelle. Let that sink in. Steve reveals that Michelle Young was eliminated after Hometowns, not Fantasy Suites, contradicting the show's timeline. They moved things around to fit a different narrative, Steve explained. Why? Because of the major backlash brewing online even before the finale aired. Producers were reportedly trying to preserve the most salvageable narrative, which meant framing Rachel as the endgame despite fan hesitance and brewing controversy. Chapter 4. Bree's devastating cut. What we didn't see. Steve went on to detail a private moment between Matt and Bree in the final two that Navy AR made it to air. Matt told Bree she was the most stable, supportive person he'd ever dated, but he felt pressure to pick someone with more emotional fire. Apparently, the producers loved the drama Rachel brought and encouraged Matt to go with his heart, knowing it would make better TV. But what happened next floored even seasoned spoiler sleuths. Chapter 5. The deleted proposal. Matt did propose, but not to Rachel. The proposal scene we saw, fake. According to Steve, Matt initially proposed to Bree, but that footage was scrapped once Rachel's storyline began dominating headlines. Wait, what? Yes, Steve insists that producers filmed a real, tearful proposal to Bree Springs, who accepted. But as social media uproar over Rachel intensified, combined with Michelle's fan-favorite status, ABC allegedly panicked. They called Matt back to reshoot segments, including the non-proposal ending that aired. Chapter 6. Rachel wasn't even his choice until ABC intervened. You might be wondering, if Bree was the real choice, why did Matt end up with Rachel? Steve's shocking claim. Matt and Rachel had already broken up before the finale aired. The two briefly reconciled after filming wrapped, but at ABC's suggestion. Matt was hesitant, Steve said. He cared for her, but the trust was broken. Still, the show needed a happily ever after, so they orchestrated a reconciliation. The two were seen out in New York together in April 2021. At the time, many fans thought they were trying again. But Reality Steve says those photos were staged and part of a broader PR effort. Chapter 7. Michelle was offered the lead before she even left. Here's where it gets even wilder. Reality Steve claims that Michelle's Bachelorette deal was struck before her emotional breakup scene aired. ABC saw the writing on the wall, Steve said. Michelle was beloved, Rachel was controversial, and Bree was too under the radar. They needed a clean slate for the franchise, and Michelle fit the bill. In fact, The now famous double bachelorette twist with Katie Thurston was reportedly only conceived after Michelle's season was already in pre-production. Chapter 8. Alternate footage exists, but we may never see it. Steve claims to have spoken with a former editor from the show who confirmed. There's hours of unseen footage that paint a very different story. This includes an extended Matt proposal scene in Pennsylvania, a tense Michelle send-off filmed after a disagreement with producers, Rachel confronting Matt on camera about the controversy after the final rose. That footage, the editor said, was locked away to preserve the version of the truth ABC wanted people to see. Chapter 9. Why reveal this now? Why is reality Steve spilling all this 4 years later? Apparently, a key NDA with someone in production recently expired, and that source finally spilled the tea. Steve wrote, "I've been sitting on this for a while, waiting for the green light. Now that I have it, I think Bachelor Nation deserves the truth." He also hinted that more leaks could be coming if ABC continues manipulating narratives. Chapter 10. Where are they now? The real fallout. Let's talk aftermath. Matt James. Still with Rachel Kirkconnell, but rumors of private breaks persist. Matt's memoir only vaguely addressed the ending, and now fans are questioning what else he left out. Bree Springs. Now living in LA, working in tech, and quietly dating someone new. She's never spoken out about the final, but fans are begging her to now. Michelle Young. Her Bachelorette season ended in a failed engagement to Nate Olukoya, but she remains one of the most respected alums in franchise history. Chapter 11. Bachelor Nation reacts. ABC owes us answers. Social media blew up within hours of reality Steve's new post. If this is true, Matt and Bri were row BET. Rachel wasn't even the final pick. This changes everything. ABC needs to release the real footage. A Change.org petition calling for ABC to release the unaired proposal has already gained 25,000 signatures. Even Bachelor alums are weighing in. Katie Thurston posted on Instagram. Producers pick the story they want. Period. Tyler Cameron tweeted a cryptic message. Y'all don't even know half of what went down that year. Chapter 12. The franchise's trust problem. This bombshell has reignited ongoing debates about the show's authenticity. If even the ending of a season can be rewritten in post, how can fans believe anything? Some believe this explains the decline in ratings and why recent seasons have felt scripted or manipulated. As one Redditor put it, "It's not even about love anymore, it's about PR cleanup." Chapter 13. What comes next? Will ABC respond? So far, ABC and Warner Bros. Have declined to comment, but pressure is mounting. If enough Bachelor Nation alumni confirm even part of Steve's story, ABC might be forced to speak out or even release a special tell-all edition. Steve ended his post with one cryptic line. "This is only the beginning. More to come." Epilogue. The final rose that never was. Imagine it. Bree Springs standing in the snow, tears in her eyes as Matt James gets down on one knee. A proposal, a kiss, a love story, buried by controversy and rewritten by producers. That's the ending we never saw. And now, thanks to reality Steve, we may never look at Matt James' season, or the Bachelor franchise, the same way again. Stay tuned, Bachelor Nation, because this story isn't over, not by a long shot.